Hey guys, it's LpsHoney, and in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys my tips and tricks to getting LPS for super cheap online. So, as some of you guys may know, I recently filmed a video called Unpopular Opinions in the LPS Community, and one of the topics was that LPS are extremely overpriced. In that video, I showed you guys some of the pets I got for really cheap, and a lot of you guys wanted to know where I got them, what the sellers were, everything like that. So I decided I will make a video to let you guys know some of the tricks I use to get them, and I'll also be letting you guys know some of the sellers I recommend. So let's get started with tip number 1, buy locally. Now when I say buy locally, I don't mean go down to Kmart and pick up some pets. I mean buying online on eBay, but in your own country or state or wherever. You can set your eBay to search only inside your country. So for example, I live in Australia, so as you can see on this little button here, I would click it to say Australia only rather than worldwide. That way it gets rid of all the listings from every other place and just shows me the ones from Australia. The reason I do that is because shipping is very cheap from Australia, and there's also a lot of good listings from local sellers who are just trying to get rid of their daughter's collection or something like that. It's even better for those of you who are in the US because shipping is very cheap over there, only a couple dollars, where over here the cheapest shipping is probably about $7 to $8 with inside Australia. So, tip number 2 is make sure you look at recently added items. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this button on eBay. If you click it, it drops down and shows you a bunch of options like look at ending soon, lowest to highest, highest to lowest, but my favorite little button is the recently added button. If you click on it, it'll show you all the listings that have been recently put on eBay. Now, this is a very good button because if you see a listing that's only been listed on eBay for a couple minutes, you can find some really good deals. For example, before I filmed this video, I clicked on the recently added button and it showed me this listing here, which had only been up for a couple minutes, and I managed to get it because I saw it as soon as it was listed. It turns out I bought 39 pets for $16, which I think is a really good deal. It was also inside Australia, so I bought locally and looked at the recently added items and found a bargain. Using the ending soon button is also really handy if you're looking at auctions that are ending soon. It can be a good way to nab a bargain on an auction that no one's really bid on, and it might be for very cheap. And speaking of auctions, that brings me to tip number 3. Wait till the last minute to bid. Now, waiting till the last minute to bid on an auction is a term called sniping. It means that you wait till the auction's almost about to end and then you put your bid in. The reason you should do this is because it can stop other people from outbidding you before the item ends. For example, if someone else bids $10 on a pet, and then 5 seconds before the listing's about to end, I bid $11 and outbid them, they don't have enough time left to enter in $12 and I'll automatically win. This technique's really good, especially if it's an item that's ending either really early in the morning or really late at night when not a lot of people will be on eBay to bid. It's also good for listings that aren't very popular and don't have a lot of people bidding on them. If it's a really popular listing, you might not be able to get it with this technique, but if only 1 or 2 other people have bid on the item, you might be able to get it for a really cheap price. My next tip is buy from Asia. Now, a common misunderstanding is that China and Hong Kong always sell fakes, and that is 100% not true. I've bought from China and Hong Kong multiple times, and every time I've bought, I've gotten a real pet, unless I have purposely bought a fake pet. Now, it is true that Asia has a lot of fake pets, and if it's a popular pet like a Great Dane or a Dachshund, I would not buy them from China and Hong Kong because it's most likely a fake. But if you're looking for pets like snakes, bears, fairies, giraffes, anything that is kind of unpopular, you'll probably be able to find it super cheap from China and Hong Kong. Just make sure you look at their seller feedback before you buy. If they have a ton of negative feedback that says that their pets are fake, do avoid them because they probably will sell you a fake even if it looks real. And don't worry guys, because I buy a lot of my pets from China and Hong Kong, I'll make sure to list some sellers later in the video so you guys can buy from legitimate sellers. My next tip is buy in bulk. This is actually one of the tips that I've only recently started doing, and it's really awesome and I really recommend it, and that is buying in bulk or in lots. So before, I would usually buy a single pet. So for example, if I wanted to buy this fairy, I would just look up this fairy. But what I noticed is I could buy it in a bunch of pets and it would work out cheaper than buying them individually. So for example, let's say that there's a seller online selling all of these Great Danes for $10 each. If I was to buy them for $10 each, it would work out to $40 to get all 4 of the Great Danes. But then I see another seller selling all 4 of them for $35, but as one listing. It would work out cheaper then by $5. So you're much better off buying pets, especially popular ones like dogs and cats, in bunches or lots or bulk lots, whatever you want to call them, instead of buying them individually, because almost all of the time it will work out cheaper to buy them as a group rather than individually. My next tip is make an offer. So sometimes when people make listings on eBay, they will have a buy it now price and a make an offer button. So let's say for example this fairy is on eBay for $10, buy it now, or you can make an offer. And what that means is you can offer a lower price than what they're selling it at. This is a really good way to almost get a discount on the pet that they're selling if they accept your offer. Whenever someone has a make an offer button, if I feel like the pet is too expensive and I want to make an offer, I always offer them a very low price. The reason I do this is because I can see what their reaction is. For example, if a pet's for sale for $30, I might offer them only $15, half the price. And sellers can offer a counter offer, meaning they can offer me $20 back instead of $15. It's good if they do counter offer your really low offer, because that way you get a discount and they feel like they're not giving it away too low, but they're still giving you the discount you want. And it's even better if they accept your original really low offer, because then you get like a mega deal. And my last tip is don't be afraid to buy overseas. Now I know I told you guys to buy locally at the beginning of the video, but some of you guys live in places that don't really sell a lot of LPS on eBay, so it's a good alternative to shop overseas. And when I say buy overseas, I don't mean automatically go buy from the US, because usually shipping prices overseas from the US are extremely expensive. I mean shop from places you wouldn't normally buy from. So of course, for example, China and Hong Kong, but I also highly recommend Germany and France because I've gotten some really good deals from both of those places. I can also recommend Australia as well. Recently we've been having a lot of good bargains, but not a lot of them ship overseas, so just make sure that the seller is willing to post to you before you buy anything. And if you're not sure, just ask. There was a seller in France that I bought 2 pets off of for a very cheap price, but they didn't say if they shipped to Australia or not. So I just sent them a message and asked, and they said that they did. And next thing you know, I had the pets I wanted and the price I wanted to pay. It's also really good to ask the seller if you're unsure about the condition of the pets you're buying as well. If you can't really see a lot of the detail in the pictures and their description isn't very good, just ask them if you could get a closer picture of the pet or if they could describe it to you, because it's rather annoying if you buy a pet that looks good and you get it and it's not very good. So just make sure to ask if you're a bit unsure, but most of the time they're pretty honest, and I've never really had any horror stories of sellers not being honest to me about the condition of the pet I was buying. The only time I ever really got a bad pet is when I bought a bunch of pets from Australia for very, very cheap. They said that they were in used condition, but one of the pet's tail was completely missing and they didn't tell me about it. But they did give me a refund for that pet, so I can't really complain. Anyway, now that I've shared with you guys some of my tips and tricks, it's time to tell you guys some of the sellers I recommend and I buy from regularly. So because I'm terrible at pronouncing usernames and I've kind of forgotten a lot of them, I'll just be posting them on screen here. So yeah, just have a look and you can search up a seller's name on eBay if you're unsure about it. I'll also try and link their eBays in the description below if you want to go directly to them. But yeah, here they are. guys, I hope you found some of these tips helpful, and I hope you guys can find some really good bargains online. And of course, even though buying on eBay is very fun, I do recommend checking out local stores and like thrift shops in your area. Here in Australia, we don't really have a lot of thrift stores, and a lot of them just don't sell toys. I have found like an LPS car for $1 in one of them, so it's always worth a check. But in America, I know that your thrift stores are a little better, so definitely go check them out because you never know, you might find some cool LPS there. And also keep an eye out for garage sales. I found a bunch of LPS for 50 cents each at a local garage sale. So yeah, just make sure you keep your eyes out for signs or maybe listings online that talk about them. Anything that can help you find some good deals on pets. But that's about all for this video. If I think of any more tips, I'll definitely maybe make a part 2 and talk more about other sellers that I've bought from and maybe stuff to look out for, maybe kind of like a warning video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like always, don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!